if you read Susan Sontag's notes on camp, by her definition, true camp, the purest form of camp, is sincere. Mm-hmm. It's not intentional. Mm-hmm. This is why it was so funny, because we were all sincere.
Right.
I was sincere in my question about, post-election. Cynthia was sincere in her reaction of, oh my God, and then Ariana was sincere in just wanting to be a part of it. Right. So I think that's why it really worked, because we were just there.
Hi, gay. I'm PJ Brescia, they, them pronouns, your host of the BabyGay Podcast and the founder of the BabyGay community, celebrating the coming out process through storytelling, advocacy, and togetherness. I came out later in life and I knew nothing about queer culture. I'm still not an expert, so let's go on a journey of self-discovery together with amazing guests, diverse coming out stories, LGBTQI plus history, and everything in between. This is the BabyGay Podcast. Coming out looks good on you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BabyGay Podcast. I'm your host, PJ Brescia, they, them, and today we are here at the historic Black Cat in Silver Lake, California, and today we have a very special guest. We have queer media icon, Tracy Gilchrist.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I love being in this space. It's just history personified. Yeah, it's
truly
incredible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about. But first, I love the full circle moment of you previously being the editor-in-chief of The Advocate.
Yeah.
And The Advocate kind of started here, right?
Yeah.
At the Black Cat.
Yes, there were protests at the Black Cat in 1967. So this predated Stonewall. Mm-hmm. And they were protesting against police crackdowns, queer people. And The Advocate became a newsletter that kind of talked about the protests, reported on the protests, and started in 1967 as a newsletter and has been going ever since. So it's a almost 58-year-old brand.
Wow.
That has run continually. And I think it's the oldest queer media brand I know it's in the country, maybe in the world.
Yeah. Wow. That's so incredible.
Yeah, it's really wild. I was the editor-in-chief of The Advocate from 2020 to August 2022. Prior to that, I was The Advocate's first ever feminism editor. That was in 2017. And
that's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was interesting trying to bring the Advocate audience into like kind of straight up ideas about feminism.
Yeah.
Right? Because we were trying something new. So we were trying to cover a lot of it and not just queer women.
Right.
So things were happening with Title IX, and Betsy DeVos was doing her voodoo in the White House as the education secretary. I covered a lot of that. And it was interesting because, some things did very well. Others, it was hard to find an audience. Yeah. But I wrote a lot of great pieces during that time that I was really proud of. And I was made editor-in-chief of The Advocate began as co-editor-in-chief with David Artavia, who is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we were co-editors-in-chief for about maybe 5 issues, our first issue began in early March of 2020.
Wow.
So we got this pretty incredible title and job right as we went into lockdown. So it was very fascinating.
Wow.
To make these magazines in isolation.
Yeah. At
really difficult times in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I was alone with my cat the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was challenging,
Yeah.
but so proud to be able to put this out into the world.
Yeah.
And so my first solo issue was the December of 2020.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool because I had been in February of 2020, I flew to Pittsburgh to visit the set of Happiest Season, where I interviewed Clea Duvall, Kristen Stewart, and Mackenzie Davis. And so that was our cover story that year. That was my first solo one. So I was like,
wow.
Okay, I've got legend Claire Duvall and Kristen Stewart on my cover, and I'm a big Mackenzie Davis fan. So that felt really good to tell that story. And I had a really good time telling our stories in the pages of The Advocate. And as I said, we just finished the Out 100. So we were deep in 100 profiles. Oh, actually, congratulations. You're one of them.
Thank you so much.
I was like, oh,
Thank you. I was like, do I bring it out? Do I not? I don't know. They said it's embargoed, so I'm not going to say anything. I've been like very tight-lipped about it. So thank you.
Yeah. But congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
But, that's such a heavy lift. And of course, Out's editor-in-chief, Daniel Reynolds, does an incredible job of curating and really trying to depict a breadth of queer people who've done incredible things this year. So on one side you have Out, which really is the bulk, and then on the other side is Advocate, and we're still keeping it going. They have separate covers, so we have separate cover stars. All of what goes in the magazines is rolled out on digital as well, so people get to see it, but we feel it's important to have this tangible thing that you can flip through, and I think it's special to have a print magazine. It's still really special. That's a living souvenir.
Totally.
Some people find it to be a lot of pressure, but when we're making the magazine, I like to think about the fact that 100 years from now, when the internet has blown up, someone will unlock the One Archive or the One Institute, and there will be stacks of these magazines. So that's a legacy that I think will live on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm an old soul of sorts, and I'm always like tactile. I like to take physical notes versus type notes. I like to read books versus a Kindle or like hearing.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I truly love the physicality of it. Also, shout out to David. Love David.
Met David Artavia.
Yes,
He's
I met
fun.
David at the NLGJA conference.
Oh, I wish
it felt like a concert.
I wish it was a concert.
Felt like a concert.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go back
Sure.
to childhood. I know when we last saw each other, I learned that we kind of grew up in similar vicinity. Tell us more about childhood.
Yeah, I grew up in a town called Plainville, Connecticut, which is, it's kind of a small, little bit of a factory town, just below some very fancy towns in Connecticut. Farmington, Simsbury, Avon. It's about 20 minutes west of Hartford. Okay. So I grew up in Connecticut. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for a very brief time in my 20s. I followed a girl to Phoenix, which, didn't last, but got me out of Connecticut.
Be a title of something.
Yeah. And then I ended up in Jersey for a while. I had my tail between my legs, didn't go back home. So I jumped ahead to my 20s. I didn't even tell you about my childhood. But yeah, as a kid, I was a theater kid. Played saxophone for 9 years in the marching orchestra, jazz bands. And I was doing theater quite a bit in high school and in the chorus. So always a little bit of an arts person. Yeah. My parents were divorced when I was 11. So I kind of grew up with my mom for a big chunk of it. My sister's 9 years older than I am. So yeah, it was just me and my mom for quite a while. Yeah.
I can relate. I mean, my sibling, I have a sister that's 9/10. I say 10. She's like, I'm 9. She's significantly older than me. And that's the one closest in age. Then I have one that's 13 years older and 16 years older.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So when I was growing up, I was also, I had siblings that came for the holidays, but generally I was just me and my mom. My dad was working a lot. So for your experience in terms of coming out, tell us about that journey.
So it's kind of tied to musical theater. Yeah. I went to Girl Scout camp. If I go back far enough, I was like 14 probably when there was a girl at camp where we spent a long time hugging and slept in the same cot, wrote letters to each other that were love letters, but didn't quite know it. And I had a little heartbreak over that because she lived in a different part of the state. She went to a private school. I used to go to the phone booth up the street from my house with rolls of quarters, and I would call her. I was 14. called her at one point, and her mother picked up and said that I was no longer allowed to speak to her daughter because I was queer. And so that was the first time that word was used against me. And I've written about this. I started high school depressed from a breakup that I didn't realize was a breakup, right? So that was kind of interesting. In junior year, I was 16 and doing Godspell, and I sang Day by Day in Godspell, and there was a senior girl who started giving me rides home, and then I realized that I had a crush on her and finally let her know, which was scary. Yeah. It was the 80s. Yeah. So that was kind of scary, but it was reciprocated. Okay. Yeah. And so we kind of had a thing for a while. She had a boyfriend at the time, though, so it was fraught. And then she went off to college, and again, I was heartbroken. I didn't tell anybody about that until my senior year. I told this guy that I had actually dated when I was, freshman, sophomore. And oddly, we were at a strip club.
Amazing. Yes.
I was 17, and we had been at a party that was like crazy, and we wanted to get out of there. He was just a friend at this point. Okay. And we knew the one place we could get served was at this strip club. Wow. And of course, now I've had too much to drink as a teenager, and I'm crying and telling him about this girl that I loved. So that was the first time I told anybody about that.
Have you written this as like a screenplay or something? Because that's incredible.
I have a few stories to tell. I'm just trying to figure out how to tell them. Yeah, I have. It's going on way too long at this point, but I spoke with an agent early in the pandemic who said, yeah, I think you've got a memoir in there. Yeah. And my biggest challenge has been trying to arrange it. Like, what are the salient pieces? What is the story I want to tell? Because I have loads of stories. Yep. What's the through line? Yep. And the viral moment has really helped crystallize a great deal for me. So I think I'm finally going to have a proposal ready.
You will, and it's going to be amazing for sure.
Yeah, I do have lots of stories.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Like that's
that's my problem. Yeah, I know. That's why I can't write my book.
I want to go back to so because I definitely want to dive into the viral moment, but going back to childhood. So you're at the strip club. You're pouring your heart out to your friend, basically.
Yeah, who had been like my boyfriend when I was younger. Yeah. Right.
And what was his reaction?
He was supportive. Yeah, and I think I believe he tried to tell me, like, I think he tried to make me feel better by talking about, like, I don't think he actually had an experience with a guy, but where he was like considering it, maybe thinking about it, but then realized no. But like that he was open to the idea of it for some time. So I believe that was the response. But yeah,
I've received that style of response from folks when coming out to them. Have you as well? Like, I wasn't sure. Is that a common thing when people?
I think sometimes people want to show you that they relate on some level. Yeah. I mean, I had been out for a while, but I had just met this new person. Okay. And so I was like complete limerence and couldn't focus on anything. Yeah. And I remember my mother trying to tell me that she had not a crush, but there was a girl in high school whose hands she loved and admired. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I always thought my mother is pretty straight, but she does seem to have a legitimate crush on Shakira. So,
I mean, who doesn't really? I mean,
it feels pretty legit. Yeah.
Good taste.
Yes.
Good taste. Yeah. The sense of trying to connect, because I've received it too. And it's been a variety of different forms. And I'm like, okay, interesting. I mean, I love that. I think everyone is queer to some degree. I mean, it's just sexuality is a spectrum. Right? It's just how much it empowers you. And
despite how much this administration would have us believe that it's not that way.
Yeah. If you, all this news, let's talk about recent events where you have the RNC or other largely,
the grinder blowing up.
The grinder blowing up. It's like, okay. So
all of that repression. Listen, I've dated Catholic girls. Let me tell you.
Yes, yes. It's so funny because I grew up Catholic, and one of my high school girlfriend, first love, we lost our virginities together. We're still very close.
Yeah.
And she's married and everything. So, but she has reflected back to me this like Catholic suppressed sexuality. I'm like, oh shit, like just things that I didn't even realize that I was holding on to.
If you grow up with that with your family as well. I mean, I think this was her issue. I mean, she would want to have sex in public and then call me a heathen for not going to church the next morning.
Wait, who is this?
This is somebody I dated.
Oh,
we
really?
Were young. I was 18, 19. She was a year older. She was young.
So, okay, interesting. I love the duality of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Also it was a different time. Like I wouldn't now. I feel like I'd end up in jail.
Yeah. So there's interesting in just coming to terms with the rise of, internet dating and all of the things and the sexually based apps where finding sex in your local vicinity is like extremely easy now.
Yeah.
To a point that this administration's using them to then target folks, which is so insanely scary.
Very Big Brother, and it's also, so it's very futuristic in a way, but it's also like a callback to, when homosexuality was illegal. I think a lot about the UK because it was illegal, like really illegal for a long time until let's say late 60s, and then even until the 90s there was I can't remember the name of the law, but it is really dark. So
feels very kind of the theme of where we are at, and with AI, and yet this administration, and it's like, which way are we going? Are we going forward or backwards?
Well, I'm not a fan of AI, so
you're seeing all the stuff with the actress.
Yes, I know. And the person who created her is saying, well, this is a form of art. It's like animation. It's, but I'm seeing a lot of really good pushback from artists who are like, this AI creature is not sentient. They can't actually act. Yeah. And even if you are doing animation, there are voice actors. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just not environmentally, I'm not a big fan. I don't love the way that it curtails critical thinking. Yeah. So I don't want to go on a tangent.
No, we don't have to dive down the AI train. But yes, it is. It's a wild time right now, and it's very overwhelming. I feel overwhelmed all the time, and it's just like, just remember, I think for people listening, like, you're not alone, and we're in uncharted territories for sure. And I think we need to lean into community and queer joy for those folks that are struggling, because that's what's going to get us through this. And that's where we can find our fellow siblings to kind of hold us when we're having a rough day, and we can kind of take turns taking the lead, because it's a wild time.
We do need to really rely on one another. Yeah. And take care of ourselves where and when we can. I have an ex-girlfriend who we're really close. She's in Spain. She's English. She messaged me recently, and she sent me a birthday card, and then we messaged back and forth, and each time she wrote, "Don't work too much. Don't work too much." I'm still working too much. Yeah. But I find it interesting that she knows me possibly better than most people, and has identified that for me to take care of myself, maybe I should cool it. Yeah.
It's really important that we do take care of ourselves. And I struggle with that too. I definitely have workaholism. Would love to kind of hear how you handle that. But it's kind of putting others before ourselves, but ultimately then that leads to like a burnout of sorts. And then when we can't kind of move forward because we're so drained, it's not helping anyone.
No.
So, and I'm struggling with this, like reminding myself that breaks and rest is not form of like weakness and kind of like not hard work. Like it doesn't. That's not what that is. It's recharge.
No. You have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a constant hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Social media.
Yeah.
And trying to get that right. I'm just trying to learn how to edit reels properly, and everyone has a different way of doing it, and it's just the kind of the mental gymnastics of trying to keep yourself relevant, tell a good consistent authentic message, grounded. I mean, that's for me what I want. I want to just continue to be myself in the best way possible, so I'm really struggling sometimes to find a way to be active in social media that feels right for me. So even that's like a little burnout.
Yes.
I want to amplify as many queer artists and educators and politicians and community organizers and as possible.
Yeah.
But we're small.
Yeah.
So just sometimes fielding the emails and just trying to be upfront with people like, hey, I love your story. I'm not able to do this at this point.
Yeah.
And fielding publicists is its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are publicists that I love who have afforded me so much opportunity, and we work really well together. But, you got to stay on top of that. You have to foster those relationships. So I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm always on.
Yeah.
I admit fully that I've probably gotten myself here, but at some point I have to understand how to just step back a little bit.
I do. Okay. So let's dive into this viral moment.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Let's paint the picture for us.
So it was Out 100 2024, and Daniel Reynolds, Out's editor-in-chief, asked me if I would write the cover story. We had made Cynthia Erivo our icon of the year. So he asked me to write the cover story. So I think it was late August I saw Wicked. It wasn't even finished. Some of the CGI wasn't complete, but I was still just blown away by it. And I interviewed Cynthia for about an hour on Zoom, I think maybe like September 2nd of last year. So it had been a couple months, and the Wicked press tour was what it was. It was this wild thing, took on a life of its own. I was at the Universal Law interviewing. I had Marissa Bodie and Ethan Slater paired, Jonathan Bailey and Jeff Goldblum paired, and then finally Cynthia and Ariana paired. So I walked into the room, and I had on that green velvet jacket with a pink t-shirt, and I walked into the room and Ariana said, I love your outfit. And Cynthia said, oh, it's so nice to see you again. And then I kind of felt stupid because I was like, oh, I wasn't sure if you'd remember me. And I'm like, Tracy, we spoke for an hour. Like, what do you like?
That's yeah.
But it just came out of my mouth. I clearly was nervous. Yeah. So sat down, and I had 4 minutes. So I asked Ariana a question about the Oz Dust ballroom scene where Glinda finally steps up and kind of begins to atone for how terrible she's behaved. And Ariana gave me a really beautiful answer. And they were kind of touching fingers at that point a little bit. And so then I went to Cynthia, and I wanted to ask her something I hadn't asked her in the hour-long interview. And I'd written down a bunch of questions. I wanted to ask her, and I hadn't gotten there yet. This is not the part that went viral. What I wanted to ask her was, as a queer Black woman, what does it mean to you to sing this song that has meant so much to queer people for the past 20 years, and to have it take on new meaning in a way that, like, I can listen to a Joni Mitchell song and takes on new meaning every time I hear it, right? So that was essentially the question. But right before I went in, I saw, do you know Toni Morrison from GLAAD? Mm-hmm. Or, well, he's now with the Morrison Media Group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out Tony.
But yes, exactly. But he had been with GLAAD for a while. So I was on Instagram waiting for my interviews, and maybe an hour before, I saw that Tony had literally posted the lyrics of Defying Gravity on Instagram and said something about how this hits different today. And then, of course, there's so much buzz about Wicked.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
There was so much buzz in general. So, so I'd seen that. I get to asking Cynthia this question, and I don't know where holding space came from, because I went back, I looked at my notes. I have this thing that I do. I write down the question, like the teeing up of it, the context, etc. And then I kind of write it down again, a little shorter. And then finally, I get to where it's just a couple of words. So if I choke, I can look and see what it is. But usually by that time, I have it memorized. Holding space was nowhere in my notes, so I don't know where it came from. So I get in there, I ask Cynthia, I think we know now, this week people are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that and feeling power in that. And then she has her reaction, which is, oh my God, I didn't know that was happening. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't want her to think that I'm making this big thing up. I don't want her to go looking for it and it not be there.
Right.
So now I'm trying to manage her expectations, because I don't want it to seem like I'm lying to Cynthia or Erivo. Right. So then I go, well, I've seen it. Yeah. Well, a couple of posts. I'm in queer media. Like, this is me just treading water, because I'm worried about her.
Right.
I don't want her to think there's something there that isn't.
Right.
So, which is funny, because, then I got pilloried for that. I mean, some people thought it was obviously super campy,
right,
but some people were like, a couple of posts, anyway,
right,
and of course she's like, well, that's what I wanted. And Ariana is just so cute. So she has said, I didn't know what the fuck was happening, but I wanted to be a part of it. And so she grabs Cynthia's finger, and so, I leave there. I feel very good about this interview, because I thought I got great answers from them. And we posted it, the clip, Out's Instagram page. And at first, we missed the part that went viral. So I actually went back and asked our editor to add it in, because I thought that little bit of context was helpful. And of course, I should go back. When I said this week, I meant the election.
Right.
This is a movie about an authoritarian leader who ousts someone who has been othered their entire life at the point of her coming into her full power. So complete relevance, I think, just a really important, timely story.
Yes.
So we went back and added that back in.
Okay.
And I'm sitting out, it was a Friday morning in late November, and I'm sitting on my stairs, taking a coffee break. My cat's just smelling the flowers, and I think I was watching Kellyoke's. Yeah. And I get a text from a publicist friend named Ryan. Oh my God, I'm loving this viral moment for you. And I'm like, well, yeah, the video's doing well. Yeah, right. Thank you.
Right.
It's doing well.
Right.
Hour later, I get a text from another publicist friend of mine named Ryan. Oh my God, I'm loving this viral moment for you. The exact same thing from two publicists named Ryan. It was very funny.
Hilarious.
And again, I'm like, yeah, it's doing well. And now I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So we were in a meeting, and I said something about, people are texting me about this video. I guess it's doing really well. And somebody said, oh yeah, you're a meme. And I'm thinking, well, you could have told me.
Right. Right. Is it not coming up on your phone? Like,
I didn't see that I was a meme yet.
Right.
I wasn't really digging into Instagram.
Yeah.
I was really just watching Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
And then within an hour now my friends are texting me, starting to send the memes.
Yeah.
And now I've seen that Evan Ross Katz has posted it. So now it's coming into clearer view. And that day I had scheduled a lunch with a friend, because we work from home. So if I don't get out of the office sometimes, the office being my home, sometimes it's lonely.
Yeah.
So I met with my friend. He's a little bit older than I am. And I had to apologize. I was like, Rick, I gotta be in my phone. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. And so I'm looking at some of the posts and I'm laughing, because people are so creative.
Yes.
And really, in the very beginning, really all I saw was like a lot of love.
Okay.
So, and funny.
Yeah.
So, but he was hilarious because he kept saying, "Why is it funny? Why is it funny?" And I don't know why it's funny. It just is.
Yeah,
It's campy.
Yeah.
Because I studied critical film theory, so I'm that kind of nerd. And if you read Susan Sontag's notes on camp, by her definition, I mean, she's the person who really broke down what camp is.
Yeah.
And so by her definition, true camp, the purest form of camp, is sincere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it was so funny, because we were all sincere.
Right.
I was sincere in my question about, post-election. Cynthia was sincere in her reaction of, oh my God, and then I was sincere in trying to walk it back and manage her expectations so she didn't, ironically, so that she didn't think it was this big viral thing. And then Ariana was sincere and just wanting to be a part of it. So I think that's why it really worked, because we were just there, you know, we're just there kind of in the moment with each other, which is rare in an interview like that. I mean, I've had great opportunities in interviews. So, but this one was obviously extra special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is such a beautiful moment, because that whole period of time, that whole press campaign was ginormous. It was like all people were talking about for so long, and having this beautiful, like, funny moment kind of just really has gone down in history in its own way. Like, it's
kind of wild. I mean, Cynthia and Oprah held space at the Tonys. People are still doing it, and it is a little bit of a shorthand.
Oh, it's being used in vernacular.
I do think I realized where it got into my subconscious though, because I do Peloton yoga.
Okay.
And there's this one instructor I adore, Aditi Shah. God, I love her so much. You know her?
I do.
I just love her so much. And so I broke my arm in February. So I couldn't do anything but slow flow yoga. And so I went back. I just kept going back to her earlier slow flows, because I had done the more recent ones so many times.
Yeah.
And there were at least two where she talked about she didn't say holding space, but she said hold space.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that that's where it got into your
brain.
My brain.
Side note, DT got me through the pandemic, because I was doing that in my apartment.
Me too.
My studio apartment by myself. So yes, I can relate to that.
No, and she's so good.
And so good. The energy is
so
amazing.
Many of the Peloton instructors are incredible, but there's something about her delivery works for me.
Same.
Yeah.
To me, what I take from that is like, you were like given this gift. I mean, it's like this came out of somewhere that was not conscious.
Yeah. If it feels, there are two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a gift. There's no disputing that. One thing I have had people say to me, because I had been very confused by it. I've been doing this work in some way for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then this happened. And I kind of brushed it off like, oh, well, I guess I just got lucky.
Right.
But I have had friends be really clear with me to own it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
To own the fact that I had been doing this for a long time. I created this shorthand with Cynthia over the course of an hour that helped. And so I'm, I like to think of it as a culmination of the work that I had been doing.
Definitely.
I'm trying to own it more.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
But yes, also a gift, because it could have never happened.
It could have never happened easily.
And I do have to mention Tony, and I did say Evan Ross Katz, but he really, like, once Evan gets a hold of something, and he did the meme treatment, and that took off.
Yeah.
Became its own thing.
Yeah.
So I have to really thank Evan for, giving me that, choosing to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a gift as well.
Yeah. And it's almost like an alignment thing, and you all have been doing the work for so long. And I think I'll speak for myself, and it's like, creatives where you work so hard in one lane and you think this is a lane that's going to get me there, and then maybe the gift or the recognition or something comes from a completely different lane, and you're like, how did this happen? Like, how did this land in my lap? And my take on it is that you're working so hard and you're being rewarded for that hard work, and you can't, because I have control issues, so it's like you want to control it and where it's coming from and in the rewards, but it's like, no, you can't. And like that's where this kind of, I have to take the hand off the wheel and just trust that things are gonna just fall into place the way they're meant to be.
I have to do that a little bit right now because I'm looking back at the last year and I was so overwhelmed when it happened. Yeah. In mostly a good way, but there was negativity. Yeah, yeah. I mean, even Joy Behar on The View. What is holding space? Like, girl, there are context clues.
Right,
like,
right.
You know, all those people who pretended to not understand how language works. I think most people could have intuited what it meant if they didn't get it off the bat. Yeah. So there was negativity around that. There were people, you know, labeling the three of us as crazy and that sort of thing. And, you know, it's interesting because I'm a very sensitive person. I mean, I thought I was. I didn't care. Yeah. It just all rolled off of me because of the love that I got from the communities that I care the most about. Yeah. And I continue to get that with primarily young queer people. Yeah. And I went to the Creating Change conference in Las Vegas in January. That's the LGBTQ Task Force's big conference. Hundreds and hundreds of really young queer people talking to me about what that moment meant to them. There's nothing like that. Yeah. And so for me, as an older queer person, I felt it's up to me to hear them. Yeah. And to forgive me, hold space for what they have to say. So it's been beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's been such a really beautiful moment. However, I've looked back at the past year and I'm trying to fight this. But there's part of me that, why didn't I get merch going? I could have afforded me so much freedom. And also, if I were to do it, I would have given a percentage to It Gets Better because I'm on the board. So why couldn't I just get that up and running? And now it feels kind of too late to do that. So many other people have taken that and run with it. So merch, the podcast, like brand partner, like I just felt like there was so much I could do to allow myself freedom to do more, right? Financial freedom to do more. Yeah. If I'm being honest, right?
The opposite of devil's advocate, I'll say like angel's advocate. Yeah. Like everything happens for a reason, in my opinion. And maybe this is those, you know, the podcast and the merch at that moment wasn't the right time, and it's leading to your book and to your launch of the like in like this other more different, grander way potentially that you might not see at this moment. But there's no point in stewing on I missed this opportunity. I mean, because I go down those stews all the time. Yeah. But there's no point. That is not gonna progress in a positive way. It's only it feels good. It's like that, like the self-loath. Not I mean, I guess it is. It's self-loathing in a way. Yeah, loath. Yeah. So
back to Wicked.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
What is this feeling?
It's right. So I take it as it's all going in the right direction.
No, I know that. It's just, you know, but I have to just kind of like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Tame the demons.
But it's been such an incredible gift. So I had a little moment ahead of the Academy Awards where I saw the two of them at the Oscars class photo at the Academy Museum. And we did a little photo. But it was cute because I had seen Cynthia at the Out 100 where we got to have a chat, and that was really lovely. And, it was funny because Patagonia was doing a Wicked performance at our Out 100, which was in early December. And Cynthia, being the icon of the year, was there. And Patty had asked for the two of us to be like up near the stage during her performance. And I was back at the bar
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, no, Patagonia's up there. I got to get up there. So I'm weaving through the crowd, get up there, and I'm standing next to Cynthia, and she hasn't seen me. And Patty points to me at some point, and Cynthia turns around and says, Tracy, and hugs me. And I leaned in and I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make this all about me. And she said, I fucking love it.
See, she just seems so incredible. Like,
they both are.
Yeah,
they both are. And so when I had this little reunion with the two of them at the Academy Museum, I got to chat with Ariana for a minute.
Yeah.
And she was so sweet because she had just gone back to lyrics that she'd written the year before. So before our interview. And one of the lyrics read, "Can you hold the space?" She was talking to me about that when I ran into her.
That's
so it was,
also divine.
well, that's what she said. She was like, we were meant to meet. She said, I knew we were meant to be in each other's lives, which was wild to hear. But I didn't realize how cosmically we were connected or something. It was really something.
I mean, truly. That I totally see that.
Sweet. Yeah, so sweet. Yeah. So that was a really fun moment. It's
beautiful.
It's been a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will continue. And it will just be better and better. Good. Yeah. It's just the beginning.
It is, I just have to trust.
You just have to trust. I think,
I have traditionally not been good at trusting, but this is, it's good for me.
Trust is an active muscle to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Always, the universe will always provide the net. Like, you have to do the hard thing, which is taking the leap, and you will be met with and it's success, safety net, success. So that is something that I'd like to remind myself or remind other people. It's just like, I mean, I can speak for myself. Like, I moved to LA on a whim and like never expected to be here. I always expected to be in New York. Like,
I moved here on a whim.
Yeah. What was your moving here journey?
When I graduated high school, I hadn't applied to colleges. I was doing a lot of theater in high school. It was also probably a little bit of a screw up. Hadn't applied to colleges. That summer, I was 17. Watching my friends go away to college. Did not want to be in Connecticut. My dad at the time was in the Navy Reserves. I think he probably liked getting away on the weekends. And, my parents were divorced, so he was with my stepmother at that point. But he loved it. And I was not ever a military person. I was always kind of like a peacenik, listening to protest music, Joan Baez and Peter, Paul and Mary in my bedroom. And I was not a cool kid. But I joined the Navy Reserves, which was wild. So I did that, went to boot camp and a training school. And then, I don't know, within a couple of years, I went to college for a few semesters at Central Connecticut State University, did a lot of theater, met a friend there who ended up in New York, and I auditioned for the road company of O Calcutta, which, if you've heard of it.
I have heard of it, but I have not seen it.
It's terrible. It was on Broadway for 25 years. It's a series of vignettes about sex. Okay. And I think it was only on Broadway for 25 years because there's several scenes with full nudity in them. Mm-hmm. So that's why people would go. I mean, some of the pieces were written by, Sam Shepard, John Lennon, Jules Feiffer. So
big names,
acclaimed male writers. Yeah. And so I went on the road with O Calcutta. I auditioned at Astor Place, went on the road, lived on a rock and roll bus for my first few years. Wow. So screwed around, finally got my associate's degree in the early aughts, and then went back to college full time. I finished my degree at Mount Holyoke College, which I loved. It's a gender expansive college, and just absolutely loved that. I had a girlfriend there when I was 19. That was the one who liked to have sex in public. Oh. And so I graduated, and then I ended up working for a local newspaper in Connecticut, the Journal Enquirer. At the same time, I had been writing for Connecticut's LGBTQ, it would have been called a gay magazine back then. It was called Metroline. You'd pick it up at the bars or at the center or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had been writing for them for free for about 8 years at that point. I would get concert tickets and theater tickets, things like that.
Right.
They didn't really have a budget.
Yeah.
Then I started writing for In News Weekly, and then I was writing for Curve, which was the national lesbian magazine.
Okay.
So at the same time, I'm covering Board of Education in the teeny tiny town of Somers, Connecticut. No, sorry, that was the town that I covered, Enfield Board of Education. And I'd be in these school board meetings or in the Somers town meetings where there were 3 selectmen. And the nail in the coffin, I know it's a really long way to get to this story. The nail in the coffin for me was one hand, I'm going to the Provincetown Film Festival and speaking with Guinevere Turner and Heather Matarazzo and, this thing, or the Indigo Girls at some point. And then on the other hand, I'm in this meeting where for 25 minutes, they are discussing if they have it in the budget to get a new postal machine for the first selectman's office. And I remember that being the moment where I was like, I gotta get out of here. I'm not going to survive this. I can't do this. And so on a whim, I packed my car and my cats and drove cross country. I did have some friends from Hartford who also wanted to be in LA. So I had roommates when I first moved here. I drove out first and then they came out. And so that was that. That was 2006.
So what was driving you to LA specifically besides the people?
Well, so I'm a good question. I am a huge movie buff. I studied critical film theory in college. And I had a professor there who at one point had said, I think you'd be great in LA. You listen, you synthesize information. Journalism was never on my radar. I mean, I wanted to be a movie star when I was a kid, or I used to fantasize about being on Broadway. Okay. But I wanted to be an actor. And so, but after having gone out with O Calcutta for a while, I kind of realized I didn't have I'll call it guts. I was too afraid to audition and all that rejection. So it was really part okay, the movie business is out there. And then in part, I just got to get out of here.
Yeah.
You live in a place and you got to go.
Yeah.
But lately I'm having an East Coast pull.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this the other night?
Well, we talked about Sweden, a Swedish pull, but I didn't know about the East Coast.
Yeah. I mean, since being here in the pandemic where we work from home, I am single. I'm lonely. I live on the West Side.
Yeah.
I would love to be in New York. I never did do the New York thing, but I could also picture myself out of the country.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, for a lot of reasons, obviously, but I realized too, I've traveled quite a bit the past few years, and when I was in my early 20s, living on a rock and roll bus, waking up in a different city every day, we'd wake up on the bus and I'd look out the window, I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool town. Oh, it's Madison, Wisconsin, or it's Gainesville, Florida. Weird little pockets of progressive towns at the time. And I loved it. I just loved being in a different place every day. So I feel like I kind of need that stimulation.
Yeah.
I've been here a long time.
Yeah.
19 years is a long time.
Yeah.
So,
if you got to go with the gut, if it's pulling you elsewhere, and you can always come back. That's what I think people, it's like, oh, this is a forever move. But it's like, it doesn't have to be. I know so many people that moved from LA to New York back to LA, back to New York. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's excessive too, but yes.
Lots of opportunity.
Yeah. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So we are going to do one of our final segments.
Okay.
Rapid fire questions. First queer icon you remember looking up to?
This is a weird one for a kid. It's probably Tennessee Williams.
Okay. That makes sense.
Well, being a theater kid and loving all those women that he wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that he was kind of salty a little bit,
Most memorable cover interview you've done?
Oh, Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah.
But so many incredible ones.
Yeah.
I mentioned a few. I did that one with Kristen Stewart and Clea Duvall and Mackenzie Davis. That was a big one for me.
Go-to karaoke song?
I don't do a lot of karaoke these days, but it used to be and people these days probably don't even know it, Say Goodbye to Hollywood by Billy Joel.
Okay. Is that not fitting for your anthem right now?
I know. Yeah, I know. But the last time I did karaoke, I did Here Comes the Rain Again by Eurythmics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Who's your dream cover interview you haven't landed yet?
Well, she's not queer, but one of the people, Dolly Parton.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, you know.
And then what advice would you give your BabyGay younger self?
Yeah, I would tell myself to be easier on myself. I have not traditionally been easy on myself, and I'm working on it. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah.
I think it's a lifelong battle.
But you know,
Practice.
having that going on in my brain about, it's resulted in perfectionism that is kind of stifling sometimes. And, there's so much I want to do, and that perfectionism keeps me from doing it. So I do things despite it, but if I could just get out of my head, then I could do so much more.
Yeah.
And yes.
And then do you want to quickly tell us about your shirt?
Oh, yes. So, I wanted to tell you about this because one of the ways I knew that this virality was sticking was the day after it started. I was at a Cyndi Lauper concert at the Intuit Dome.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I got a collab request from the New York City Gay Men's Chorus. And I could see there was clips of my interview, and I thought, oh, they must be singing Defying Gravity. So I hit on a whim. I mean, I probably should have vetted it, but I just hit collab. And when I got to see it, I realized that they had taken the words that I spoke and turned them into song lyrics and used it as a warm-up. And then they went into Defying Gravity. It was really moving. So I thanked them. And at that point, they said, if you're ever in New York, come see us. Cut to the first time I got to New York was in June. And they were doing their year-end concert, Heal Me at the Disco. It was in the West Village, which was really fun. So I went down there. They said, well, we'll take a photo together. So I go up on stage to take a photo, and they surprised me and made me an honorary member of the New York City Gay Men's Chorus.
That's amazing.
It was incredible. And then my other favorite part, though, was Trevor, the person who was kind of directing the chorus for the photo shoot. He would say, well, take your cap off, do this, do that. And then he said, queer media. And they all went like this. Because in the interview, when I say I'm in queer media, I don't know why I did that. I'm in queer media. And so now they have a shorthand.
Queer media.
Yeah, queer media. And I watched that show. I watched them perform, and I really kind of sobbed through the first 3 numbers because the whole thing was really moving to me. I grew up going to New York when I was first coming out, having grown up in Connecticut. And then I'm looking at this chorus, which was racially diverse, gender presentation diverse, and age, a spectrum of ages. And I was really imagining what some of those, especially older folks who were in the chorus, endured. And I was super emotional watching it. So it was like a really big deal. Yeah. So I love my
so beautiful.
So I love my New York City Gay Men's
Chorus shirt. I want to continue and sharing this queer media with everyone.
Queer media.
Queer media unites us all. I love that. Well, Tracy, thank you so much.
Course.
This has been amazing.
Yeah,
I always love chatting with you.
Yeah.
And where can people find you on social?
I'm primarily on Instagram, also TikTok to a lesser extent. I have a business page on Facebook, and I'm on Threads and Blue Sky, all at Tracy E Gilchrist.
Thank you.
Yeah,
perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, baby gays, remember that coming out looks good on you. Queer media.
I love that.